get home, it's now 9:30 at night. I'm watching the Yankee game on TV because this is like April. And I'm watching the Yankee game, and the phone rings. Pick it up. Hello, this is Bonnie. I said, oh, hi, Bonnie. She goes, Bonnie Timmerman. I said, yeah, I know who it is.
Yeah.
And she said, listen, I sent your tape out to Los Angeles last night, and they want you to fly out to L.A. tomorrow morning.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, what?
Oh, my God.
She goes, yeah, a limo's going to pick you up tomorrow morning, give you the whole script. You'll fly out to L.A., you'll meet Michael Mann, and then you'll read for the network, hopefully at like 5:30 in the afternoon tomorrow. I'm like, are you kidding? She goes, no. So she said, look, we're trying to get you on a flight. If you can find a flight, go ahead. She goes, I'm going to try to get you on a flight because it's like really last minute.
Right. No kidding, right?
I wake up my ex-wife and I say,
it's the call you hope to always get.
She thought I was
it's
kidding.
like...
And I said, no, Bonnie.
Right.
So she's thinking I'm playing a
How
practical joke. She
exciting.
makes the call. We find a seat. We call Bonnie. Said, we got a seat. Bonnie says, well, I got a seat too. And so she said, well, that's an earlier flight. We'll take that one. So next morning, a limo picks me up. And I'm thinking, all of this for a day play, for a guest star on the pilot? What are you kidding? And so, anyway, I'll shorten the story. I'll shorten the story by, I get on the plane. I'm flying the first time in L.A. I meet Michael Mann. He's like thrilled.
Did you even know who he was?
Well, I knew from Miami Vice, the producer of Miami Vice. And I tell him I'm like really exhausted because I hadn't slept. I didn't sleep that night. The night before I worked, got up early. And I'm like thinking to myself, I've come all this way and I'm going to blow this because I can't keep my eyes open. So Michael says to me, he says, go back to my office and go sleep there and I'll see you at 5:30 and we'll go to the network together. And I said, okay.
Did you even know what that meant, go to the network?
No. I knew what it meant, but I didn't know why I was going to the network. Why? Now I knew because it was the lead.
Right.
I mean, on the plane driving out, I'm flying out, I'm going, oh my God, this is one of the leads. I said, this is not a guest star, this is the lead.
Oh
the cop
God.
and the gangster. So I'm like, oh my God. Anyway, Michael's assistant comes in at one point and says, listen, we're got good news and bad news. And I said, well, what's the bad news? I said, what's the good news? The good news is, we're going to put you up tonight at the Sheraton Universal. To this day, every time I go by the Sheraton Universal, I always get a little teary.
Right.
She said, because we got the audition canceled to tomorrow morning, Saturday morning. I said, so what's the bad news? She goes, well, you got all night to worry about it. And I said, what are you kidding? I said, that's good news and phenomenal news.
Quality problems, you know?
Went to the hotel, called up this buddy, read him all the dialogue, from the character of the other characters. And on the line, we were rehearsing. I'm walking around this hotel room. Still had a tough time getting to sleep, but I finally got to sleep. The head writer of the show meets me in the lobby, says to me, look, I'm going to be reading with you. And he goes, anything you want me to do, in the reading? Because I'm not an actor. And I said, just read with energy. I said, that's all. Just be energetic.
Right.
And he said, really? And I said, yeah, because a lot of times people, they try to just read with energy. And I'll, take care of my part. And he goes, great, okay. So there's another guy there who's going to read. And it's me and this other guy. He goes in before me. He comes out. Hey, nice, good luck, whatever. He leaves. I know that, I go in. And they call me in, and I didn't know there were like 30 people in the room. I didn't see where they came from.
Right.
And so I do the first scene.
Were you nervous though?
Oh, I was nervous, but I mean,
these people,
I was
like you got the adrenaline going.
I was,
right.
I had enough theater at the time to know to do my technique.
Right.
But I was nervous, and I did the first scene, and Michael goes, he's from Chicago, so he goes, nah, wait a minute, let's go back, and let me tell you. He said, you know what, you're a little, do that other scene first. He goes, and get your juices flowing, then we'll go back and do this scene. And I'm like, this doesn't happen in auditions. What, are you kidding me? So I do the other scene, and he was right. As soon as I did the other scene, I loosened up. We did the next 3 scenes, and I drove it out of the park.
Oh.
I knew I could feel that I was connected to something. But, you leave the room, and now I have to wait because the writer is going to give me a ride back to the hotel.
Oh.
I don't live in L.A. like the other guy did. So I'm like, oh, my God. Then I start thinking, you know what? I could have done this. I could have done that. I could have done that. Mm-hmm. Well, Michael Mann comes out of the room with everybody else, Brandon Tartikoff, who I later became very good friends with, who's
Brandon
now gone.
Yeah.
Now gone. And all these other guys, Joel Thurm and, and Dan Philly and Warren Littlefield, they all come out, and some other guys, and Michael's down front, and he goes, you got it. You know, you're.
He told you right there.
Yeah. He goes,
are you kidding?
At the time, the character was called Nick Spano, so it then later became Ray Lucca. So he goes, you got it. You're Spano, and I'm like, what?
Oh
He goes, you got it. You're the character. Everybody's like, congratulations. And I go to stand up, my legs like, you know.
that right leg
that was
thing,
my legs.
that was out the window.
And I'm like, oh, yeah. And so then David Burke, who was the head writer, he said to me, listen, I got to go talk to Michael. He says, then, you know, I'll give you a ride home. Michael goes, all right, let's get you to Chicago right now. And I'm like, and then his assistant said, no, Michael, look, he doesn't even have any clothes.
Right.
So we'll fly you back to New York, and then Sunday night you'll take a flight to Chicago because it starts Monday.
Oh, my God.
Then I go to come to find out that it's the most coveted role in town. 200 people auditioned for this role. They were, you know, everybody. And, you know, they didn't know what to do. And then I came along and it was like, I was the guy.
Isn't that
And, you know, again, no film credits for them to check on.
Right.
So they were taking, you know, Bonnie Timmerman took a giant risk with me. And then Michael Mann, to his credit, said, hey, you know what? This guy is the guy.
You were it.
And everybody said fine. And
I remember an acting teacher once said to me years ago in New York, Paul Austin, he said to me, embody the character. You just embody the character. It's like you were just it. You were the guy. I mean, you were
I was the guy, just like Kira on The Closer.
Exactly.
You can't even imagine, even remotely imagine anybody else being that character. It's like, it was this, what's the word, symbiotic, I guess? I mean, there was this complete merging of Kira and this character.
Right.
And it became seamless.
Interesting.
And it was like the same thing for me with this character. At least I like to think that's what happened. I mean, I just really bonded with this character, even though
it was
completely out of the realm of who I was. I mean,
right.
You know, cold-blooded killer. And,
oh, yeah, as far as
you
that
know,
goes.
But, you know.
But let me ask you something, Tony. Like, as far as, like, when fate we meet our destiny, do you know? I mean, how much do you think that some of that plays a part of this?
Well, I used to say that people, you know, you make your own chances. You know, you want to win the lottery, you know, you got to go get a job to earn the dollar to buy the tickets.
Right.
And you got to walk to the store or drive to the store or take a bus to the store or train to the store to buy the ticket.
Right.
I mean, you know, you just can't win the lottery by sitting home and imagining numbers.